start. And today, to begin with, we are going to use the roller if you have one. If you don't have a roller, you can just lay on your back on your mat and do the same movements. We're going to do a series of chest opening exercises, which are great done on the roller because it helps you open the chest more. But like I said, you can do it without if you don't happen to have one. Sometimes people will also like roll up a yoga mat really tightly and try laying on that, or a blanket, a big beach towel, something like that. But the roller is a great tool. And at some point, you'll probably want to get one for yourself, just for all the self-massage and also balance exercises that you can do on it. So we're going to take the roller lengthways down your mat. You could also, if you had a ball to take between your thighs, that would be useful to help you stabilize. And hand weights for your hands would be great as well. Mine are at the Matchbox at the college, so I'm not using those. But I know some people do actually use like water bottles. Filled, of course, would be more weight. When you get on the roller, you want to be sure your tailbone is grounded and the back of your skull is grounded. There should be a slight arch at the waist and at the back of your neck. And the pelvis is flat here so that the hip bone crest and the pubic bones are level. And then you can open your arms out to the side. So I'm a little elevated on my equipment so my fingers can reach down, but even if your arms are on the back of your hands or on the floor, that's a great place to begin. And then you can just rock a little from side to side. Or if you're on the mat without a roller, just reach out long through each arm and turn and feel that stretch and lengthening across the top of the arm and into your pecs. If you are rocking, you would be thinking of draping your rib cage and your hip down on one side of the roller and then down on the other side with the gaze fixed up at the ceiling, unlike me who's looking at the screen to see all of you. And then you can come back to center and we start curving the arms up in a big embrace. So it's as if you hug someone you love right above you, wrap your arms around them. And then as you exhale, pull the arms out, open and down and stretch the fingers, reach the arms long out to the very end. And then inhale to lift the arms, pull your shoulder blades widen on the mat underneath you. And as you lower the arms, if you're on the roller, you'll feel the blades wrap around the roller. In any case, they move into your spine. Full inhale all the way up. The whole body expands with the breath. And then as you exhale, you can open your mouth or breathe out through your nose, but let the air leave the bottom of your lungs and go into the atmosphere. Inhale, reaching again. Curve the arms, circle them like they're hugging a ball, and then reach them open as if the ball expands and presses your arms down. Once more. Breathe in so deeply, it's like you create a vacuum and the arms lift into that. And then as you exhale, the air leaving your body presses into the atmosphere and pushes your arms down and wide. And next we'll bring the arms up once more and then reach up for the ceiling. And here we do a shoulder blade movement. Inhale and lift the hands up as high as they go. Move your blades off the ground, off the roller. And then as you exhale, pull the collarbones wide and sink the blades down. They're sinking towards the floor or into your mat. Inhale, you reach up. You just shrug the shoulders forward. And then exhale, release them back. The chest widens, the collarbones spread. Inhale, as you lift the arms, the blades come up and around the side of your rib cage. And then as you exhale, they're going to drop down and around the ribs and in towards your spine. And once more, letting them up, really lift and shrug. And then exhale and relax and melt, sink them down. We'll turn the palms forward and then go ahead and slide the arms all the way down to the ground at your side, parallel to your body and roller. Inhale, we lift the arms up to 90 degrees. And as you exhale, stretch the arms back behind you, reach here. And then reversing, lift the arms in unison in parallel and exhale all the way to the ground. So notice we're not stopping. The arms draw like two beautiful rainbows parallel to each other. Inhale to start the lift, exhale to end. And then reversing, inhale up to 90 degrees and exhale continuing all the way down. Keep lengthening the arms away from you. Find that reach, find that stretch. And again, pushing the air down and away, helping with that movement to empty your lungs. And again, inhale, arms lift, feel the weight of your shoulders melt down, and then exhale as the arms go back. Be careful that you're not arching the back. We don't want to pop the ribs and increase the arch in your spine. Instead, if you keep the ribs grounded while you do this, you get more of a stretch in your lat in the back of your body. And then just continuing, we lift the arms on the inhale and exhale down. I know I'm out of sync with you guys, but let's do one more set. Wherever you are, stretch it back, yawn your body open to the ceiling, and then bring the arms up and then lengthen them down again. That length pulls the shoulders away from your ears. Next, we'll take your hands to your shoulders, bending the elbows in by your waist. And we draw circles with these bent elbows, lifting up and then exhale out, around, down, and in. Think about a short inhale and a longer exhale so the body relaxes here on the ground, on the roller. And the movement of the arms should be symmetrical. So each arm is a mirror image of the other one. You go up and then you exhale, go wide out, around, and down. And actually the arm bone, the humerus, rotates on this shoulder joint. And let's come back to center and then reverse. So we go down, out, around, and all the way forward and in by your side. You want to make these circles only as big as it's comfortable for your shoulder. None of this should ever cause you pain or even really concern. You can always start very small. And if you've had a shoulder injury at one point and maybe you're still recovering, go gentle, go easy, go small, and really go slow. So you're aware of where you should be and where you shouldn't be going yet. You can also, with this one, you can really shrug your shoulders and pull them off of the roller and then back onto it. If you want a little bit more length and release in the muscles in your shoulders and neck. And let's finish this up and stretch the arms forward at your side for full arm circles. Inhale, the arms go all the way up and back by your ears. The ribs stay grounded. You exhale, circle wide and around, palms to the ceiling, until you bring your hands at your side and then you turn the palms down to lift again. Up and back on the inhale and exhale, sweep wide around and forward. Palms down, and then we lift again. And just extend out. Show me your biggest wingspan here. And last one. You stretch the whole body, front, back, and side, and then bring the arms long to ease the neck. And then we reverse. Palms are up and you circle out. Start to lift the arms as they go back behind your shoulders. And exhale, dive them forward with a firm press. And you circle again. Your gaze really should be up to the sky and a little bit forward. So the back of your neck is nice and long. In fact, the neck should be long, front, back, and side. Let's do one more of these. Feel how this opens your body, releasing and stretching it, expanding it. All right, just one more. Let's take the hands together. So the hands form like a diamond shape. The thumbs are together, the index fingers are together, and the elbows are bent so that the whole shape from your hand to your elbow to your chest forms a diamond. And with diamond arms, you just press the hands into each other for a little isometric contraction. Inhale back and then exhale, float the arms forward and float the hands over your belly. You inhale to go back and exhale forward. And truly what happens in your body is that your collarbones are rolling back to bring the arms back, and then they're rolling forward around their own axis to bring the arms forward and down. So see if you can think of that, and maybe if you want, just take one hand to your collarbone and see if you can feel it rolling while the other arm does this action. And then let's bring the arms forward, arms at your side, and slither off the roller. Take it to your side. Get rid of it here. All right, starting seated at the front of your mat, we're moving into hundreds. So knees are bent, legs are together, and the hands to the back of your thighs. Sit upright, perch here, and then look down at your abs. Curl the tail up in a pelvic tuck and start to roll the low back down 1 inch from vertebra at a time. As you go back, you're going to rest at the base of the ribs at the tip of the shoulder blades. Pull your legs into your chest. Elbows wide, pull yourself up a little deeper as you press your waistline to the ground. You can extend the legs up or leave them in that 90-degree angle and then start pumping the arms, inhaling and exhaling. The fingers stretch forward like they're sliding up and down the wall in front of you. The legs squeeze tight. You find a position that works you without overworking you. So if it seems a little easy, stretch the legs out and lower them out and down. But if your back starts to arch and your belly starts to feel like it's losing control, you would lift the legs again. You can also keep staying here with that breath coming up a little deeper into the curve. Should only let the tip of the blades touch the ground. And think of them like pitchforks pushing the floor away to lift you up higher and deeper into that curve. It's a steady pulse. The arms should be pressing actively up and actively down. Without tension in the arms are floating through the air and reaching forward. Let's go for 2 more breaths. Deep inhale in, the whole body expands. Deep exhale out, and the body knits together. And 1 more breath here. See if you can lengthen out through the center of the sole of your feet. And then we'll go ahead and fold the knees in and lay yourself down. Hug the knees in, and you can lower your toes, open the arms, and rock your knees to one side. Look away. Exhale to center, and then we go to the other side. Always looking away from your knees and getting that lovely stretch in your back and in your abs. Often we feel like we need it after doing deep abdominal and core work. All right, now from here, let's pull one knee into your body, hold onto the back of the thigh, lift the other leg up to the ceiling, and we're rocking forward and up. This way, if you want to do your roll up with your TheraBand, you can grab your band and take it around your feet. Or if you want to grab hand weights, you can grab them here now. But in any case, we're going to sit upright and then looking down at the belly. You can reach the arms forward as a counterbalance and then slowly roll your body down into the ground. Melt it down 1 vertebra after the next. And then when you're grounded, lift the arms up and back behind you to get a stretch without overarching your spine. We lift the arms, we start to lift the head, the neck, the shoulders. Exhale, pull up, and then curve over. Stretching the head out towards the feet, keeping the feet flexed. Bend the knees if you need to or want to slacken the strain behind the knees and the low back. And then we'll start to roll back. And you can take the arms higher for more work, lower for more control, and that position will change as you need it to. Arms reach back behind you. We start lifting as we inhale, exhale before you pick up the ribs, so that gives you that lift, that acceleration, the strength to come off the ground. And as you dive forward, pull your waist back into the curve of your spine, create a C curve out of your body. It's like a horseshoe resting on its side. And then we're coming back again. Keep lengthening out through your feet as you move away from them with your spine and you stretch back with your arms. And let's do 2 more. Inhale, lift, exhale, pull your body up. Of course, if you were using the TheraBand, you'd be pulling your elbows wide and then taking a bow here. Otherwise, keep reaching a little bit longer each repetition, and down we go again. Try to delay your descent so it's smooth and even. You curve your body into the floor and stretch back, and 1 last one. Coming up, grow a little taller. Think of your head being pulled up by magnets, by strings, like you're a puppet being moved by the puppeteer, and then dive forward. Take that bow to the audience, and then we're coming back. Your body can stay low even if the arms rise up, and then place yourself down on the ground. From here, reach for your TheraBand if you have one. And we're going to place that around your right leg. So it goes on the foot, wide at the ball of the foot and the arch. And if you're near a wall, move away from it. Right. And first we're going to lift up through the heel and pull down through the toes, getting flexion at the ankle. The elbows slide forward and down at your waist to relax the shoulders. Then reach up through the ball of your foot. And we start a circle here. Inhale, you cross the leg over the body first, you reach it long. Exhale, you circle the leg out, around, and over, bring it up high to the ceiling. Bend your knee a little bit if the hamstrings are tight, and just work for that stretch in the back of your leg. Short inhale and a long, slow exhale. We want to keep the body stable on the ground, like it's glued, like it's welded to the floor here. When you complete the circle to the top, you breathe again. Inhale, short but deep, like you just walked into this beautiful garden in the world, or maybe an ancient forest. And we're going 1 last time in this direction. Around you go. Bring it out wide, and then lift it on up. And then at the top, we reverse. Inhale, move away. The left side stays heavy. The right leg stretches and drags across the body without lifting the right hip. And we do this again. Right, ideally, you're pivoting from your elbows and keeping those upper arms on the floor. That'll help you stabilize your body and also work into your triceps. And let's go for 1 last circle here. Reach out really long, push down low, and then drag the leg across, lift it up, and then take both ends of the band in your right hand, the left hand on your left hip bone to be sure that hip doesn't rise, and you open the right leg out to the side. You can rock it a little bit, you can bend the knee, feel where you get the best stretch, not only in the hamstring, but also in the upper inner thigh muscles. And by pushing the left hip down, it's feeling like you're falling into a ditch on that side of your body. We get more of a stretch across the front of the pelvis also. And then we lift the leg up on the exhale, we switch hands. Now here, you can cross the leg over, extend the right arm and look at that hand, and then rotate your right leg internally from the thigh to point the toe and the knees down. And feel that stretch. You can also pull the leg a little closer to your left shoulder in order to really feel the stretch that you are looking for. If it's too much, ease it out. And then we'll pick the leg up, lift it here, and just give it a nice little stretch. And then we'll take the band off, slide that leg forward, give both legs a little shake, and you should feel definitely that leg is closer to the ground. It feels longer. There's an ease in the muscles on that side of your body. And then let's bend the left foot. You want a wide band across the foot, not a narrow strap. It increases the amount of feedback and also makes the leg more secure here. As you flex the foot and lift it to the ceiling, feel the stretch in the calf, and then feel the weight of the leg fall deep into your socket. Next, point the foot, reach long, and we circle. Inhale across the body, always first to help you stay centered. Exhale all the way around, sweep it wide and bring it up high. And short inhale and long exhale. Let's push the air out of the body by pulling the belly down in and deep. And you reach again. Think of the leg drawing a path that spirals further and further away from your torso, away from the pelvic girdle. And you push the air aside, move through it. Enjoy the stretch you feel as you stabilize your body on the opposite side and then reach away from it. We come to the top, we pause and reverse. Now go away from center, open wide, exhale, circle low, across and lift it. And always remember, you can bend your knee if your hamstrings are tight at the top, but then as you circle the leg around and down, maybe straighten the leg so you feel that you can open through the hip, because you won't get a hip opening unless the knee is straight there. We're going to come up to the top and then pause, both ends of the band in the left hand, hold the right hip down with your hand and open the leg out to the side, externally rotate it and a gentle little rocking. Nothing too dramatic. You just want to feel a nice little ease that you're working several aspects of those inner thigh muscles at the same time as you're pressing down into the opposite hip. And then exhale to pick the leg up, switch hands, cross it over. Now this hip can lift, the left side can rise, and you just keep your shoulder blade grounded. As the leg goes out, rotate it internally, and your arm would be extended, your left hand would be extended. Try to stretch across the room and let your gaze push it further away from you. Exhale to pull the hip down, that lifts the leg for you. And then we bend the knee into your chest, place the band down at your side, extend the leg out, shake it out. The hip should feel a little more open, the legs longer, the whole body more relaxed. Center on the mat, and then we're coming forward and up for rolling like a ball. So bring one knee in, hand behind it, and you can lift the other leg up and then press the legs forward as you rise. Sit near the front of your mat. Option to take a ball between your thighs and squeeze it in. More difficult option, ball between your heels and your tailbone. We're going to start with the hands at the shins. If you want a simpler, easier option, the hand to the thigh makes it easier. Look down into your belly and curve the tail up around your back as much as you can. We inhale to lift the tail and roll to the shoulders, and exhale to come up to your balance point. Feet are off the ground still. The edges of the feet press together. And your gaze always stays fixed on your navel, right? Because if you look up, like if I go back and look up, my head acts like an anchor and it's going to be hard, if not impossible, to rise. So don't do that mistake. Always look down at your abs and keep your chin tucked in as you roll. We're thinking this is massaging the spine, but also helping to pump air in and out of the lungs. And also checks your balance, see if you're aligned so that you can work your right and left side equally. In that case, you'd be rolling in a straight line up and down your mat. At the top, let's pause. And we take the right hand to the right ankle, the left hand on the shin of the right leg below the knee. Pull that leg in and the other leg out and away. Now try to go down slowly. Roll down your back a little bit at a time. Don't just fall, but work it down to your upper up curl, elbows wide, left leg long. And inhale, let's switch. Push one leg away and one leg in tight, and then switch again. We're always taking the outside hand to the ankle, and the inside hand crosses over the body and holds the knee tight. That again helps keep us centered as we stretch the leg right out of the socket and then right back in. Let's do one more set. The shin pushes up into the hands so that you feel the work in your arms as well as the leg. Left leg in, pull both knees in, one hand to each shin. From here, inhale, arms and legs rise, stretch, circle the arms, fold the legs in, embrace your legs into your body. Keep looking down at your belly. As you advance, the arms and legs move further away from each other. But again, the caveat is you cannot let your back arch here. You have to stay in that deep curve without falling flat. Let's do two more. Most advanced, the toes go down along the mat and then scoop up, and then you pull everything in. So that would look like the toes gliding across the floor, lifting to eye level, and then you embrace it all in. Right leg up for scissors, left leg forward, and we scissors switch the legs. One goes up, one goes down. Try to come up with your chest to meet your thigh. Imagine that your head is lifting higher than your knee. And you bend the knee if your hamstrings are tight when the leg lifts, and straighten it as it goes down and away from you. The legs sweep through the air like blades, like knives. And we'll end with the left leg up. Bring the right leg up to meet it. Support your head with your hands. Elbows go forward and down. The legs squeeze together, and then we reach them out. And then exhale and lift them up. And again, you know the drill. You have to be careful that the legs don't go so far that your back arches and your body flattens to the ground. And you're also not just throwing them up and down with momentum. So they stretch out, and then you pause for a second and you drag them up using the strength of your deep core, your psoas muscles along your spine. Those are your main hip flexors. We're trying to challenge them, strengthen them without overworking them and getting into the back. Let's do one last one. And then you lift, and then we twist to the right, pulling the right leg in and lifting up to it. Come back and around and twist to your left. So as you come up and around, try not to side bend. We're not looking down and around to the outside of the hip. We're trying to rotate, pull up, and get that feeling of work in these upper abdominals as they contract, bend, and pull you up. Think armpit to inner knee. We'll end to the left. Pull both legs in and lay it down. All right, so stretch out. The arms can go up and even back. And let's come up and lift for spine stretch. You pull your body forward, open the legs, and sit upright with the arms parallel to the floor. Inhale, press the arms down and lift the head and the chest high. Look down and exhale. The head, the neck lead, the shoulders, the ribs, the waist, the low back forward as it reaches out between your knees and out towards your ankles. Press to the ground and you lift, articulate the spine up like you're lifting it up against a wall. And then we look down again and dive forward. Pilates really felt that we were as young and as healthy as our spines were, mobile and free and articulate. So a lot of the Pilates exercises use this kind of sequencing of the spine, where you're moving one vertebra and then the next, either up or down the spine, depending on the exercise. And you might want to think about that as we do different exercises today. This is a great example. If your back was like a xylophone, you'd have all these keys representing the vertebra, and then you might play one note at a time down your spine as you go forward, and then up your spine as you lift. And let's go down again, looking down and leading out with the halo, diving forward and down. Reach hold of your legs wherever you can. Take a stretch and pull your waist back, your belly back into your spinal curve. And then we can slide the heels together, the heels towards the tail or vice versa. You want to sit again near the front of your mat. And here, rock back, lift your feet, open leg rocker. Easiest to take your hands behind the thighs. We inhale and you extend the right leg up, stretch it, and then fold it back in. Once it connects to the other heel, you extend that leg up and bring it down. Good. More difficult would be hands to the inside of the legs, wrapping around the ankle and the swell of the calf, and you would stretch the legs up and pull them back. I moved to 2 legs without telling you. My fault, my bad. But just try this. Stretch it up, lengthen, reach as much as you can, challenge your balance, and try not to move your torso. Now the next one, we're going to take it up and leave it there. I would switch my hands to the outside of my legs, either the calf or easier to the thighs, and then look down and rock. You roll back by lifting the tail. You come forward by bringing the head and the chest forward to your legs. And we roll again. Trying to keep the arms and the legs as straight as possible. The spine, however, remains curved so that you can roll here like you are the rocker on a rocking chair. And do one more. Exhaling to come all the way up. Close the legs, bend the knees, replace the feet, and the arms can come forward. Actually, a great Cathy Grant version. She was one of Joe Pilates' students and a talented Pilates teacher. She would have you roll back, like circling the arms in towards your body, like so. And then reverse it to come up. But we're going to stay down here for corkscrew. So again, you can use your TheraBand for your feet. It's going around both feet this time. Or option here would be to take a ball between the inside of your arches. And we're going to lift the legs up to the ceiling, pull the elbows or the arms down and long at your side, slide them forward so that the shoulders are relaxed. Now, again, hamstring tight people, you're going to bend your knees so that you still feel the stretch in the hamstring, but you want to straighten the legs and try to really anchor your sits bones out and down. Now we circle to the right and then exhale, around you go, pivot from your elbows if you're holding the band, complete the circle and reverse each time. So the goal here is to draw a circle on the ceiling with the feet as if they were like magic markers or crayons or something that wouldn't come off the ceiling. And what we're trying to do here is really hold the body stable and grounded against the movement and weight of your legs. And then you can later, once you sort of have that, you can add a slight rotation through the pelvis, through the hips, and draw the circles a little bit bigger, but really be careful that you feel this in a good way in your abs and not in a bad way in your back. And it's very controlled. Like I'm really almost thinking about moving my hips in order to move the legs for this more advanced version. If that seems a little confusing and you don't want to do it, it's also great just to hold the torso stable, the pelvis grounded, and then do the circles here. We'll do one more, going from left to right to end. And then you can fold the legs in, put the band to the side if you were using one, and we come forward and up again. You can hold both legs and lift to come up, sit upright for soft. So the legs are open wide, the arms extend out, and we sit up tall as we inhale. As you exhale, rotate to your right, bring the back of the left hand to the outside of the right leg someplace, and then pull yourself around by pushing arm into leg and vice versa. And then we lift to come up, unwind and spiral, bring the right hand to the outside of the left leg, slide it forward, and think of your right armpit coming down by the left knee. Pull yourself up. As you center, notice your sits bones are equally balanced and weighted. And as you dive over the right, push down more weight into your left glute, like you're bolting that left sits bone into the ground underneath you. And we come up, center, and now we're going to bolt down through the right sits bone and reach away from that as we twist to the left. The arms go long. See how far they can reach away from center and away from each other. Even as you go forward, the back one lifts and stretches, the front one stretches away, and we pull ourselves up, so finding that length across the body through the arms, through the fingertips, and diving over here last time. Try to look back and up at your fingers behind you. And then we lift, coming center, and lower the arms, close the legs together, and we flip over onto our stomachs for swan. Now you want to float your head off the ground. Your hands are back by your chest, elbows up and back, legs a little apart. And we bring the gaze forward, try to push the mat towards our feet, and lift up through cobra and a little higher if you want to go. And down, you go slowly. Release your body down. Now it's tricky, right, to stay out of the low back. What really helps is to pull the front line of your body as far forward as you can, and then only go up as far as you're working through the thoracic spine and not into that lumbar. And then down you go again. And once you've gotten up as high as you want to go, you might even think of lifting your tail up, no gripping through the sits bones, and release it back down. The eyes always bring you forward and they stay up, so the gaze stays up even as you descend. Once you get the sternum down, lower the chest, the neck, the chin, and then look at the ground. And let's just do one more here. Go forward to lift and curve up and back over an imaginary ball on your spine. And then let that ball roll up your body to bring you all the way down. And then we sit back in a child's pose, round the back, stretch it out. And then we go forward onto our forearms for single leg kick. Another extension exercise. The arms push down, the elbows are under the shoulders, the fists push into the floor, the legs stretch long. You pull the chest forward and lift it. Lift your eyes too, and the shoulders fall together and down your back. Bend the right knee and we kick 1, 2, and down, then the left, pulse 1, 2, and down, then the right. Alternating the legs and just beating twice. Holding the front of the pelvis heavy onto the mat. Think of the whole pelvic girdle filled with sand or concrete so that it stays grounded as you pull away from it. Here you should feel the stretch in the abdominal wall. Even the skin stretches forward and up. And one last set. We'll end with a beat to the left. And then lay yourself down, turn your head to the right, overlap the hands high on the back, stretch the legs out, and we take a deep breath to prepare. Inhale to lengthen the whole body. Stretch from head to toes. As you exhale, 3 beats both legs. 1, 2, 3. Push the legs down. Reach the arms back, palms in. Lift the chest and stretch the arms behind you like a long scarf flowing in the wind. And then you turn your head to the left and 3 beats again. Feet go down. If you can, intertwine the thumbs, keep the wrists straight, and push the fingers towards your knees, towards your feet. And down, turning the head to the right. 3 pulses again. Let the elbows fall until it's time for the whole arm to lift, and I'll pick up your chest. The hands lower makes it easier to lift the heart. And down you go to look left, last time here. 3 pulses out. Pump the air out of your lungs. Push into the ground, reach back, stretch. And then you can circle the arms around, bring your hands by your chest, and come up and again into your child's pose. Round your back, stretch it out, curve it here. All right. And then we're coming up to sitting and then lay onto your back for shoulder bridge. The knees are bent. If you have knee issues or have had them in the past, you might be a lot more comfortable using a ball between your thighs because then by engaging the inner thighs, it really helps support the knees. But in any case, your arms will stretch long here at your side, your feet spread and sink into the ground. And we start with a pelvic tuck. So you think the tail lifts up, the waist sinks down. And as you pull the mat underneath you with your feet, you slide the knees forward out over your toes, push down with your arms. And we're gonna lift into an intermediate position here where you pull the blades together under your back by pushing the top of the shoulders into the ground and rolling your weight to the outside of your arms. So that lifted the sternum up, and then you wanna lift your butt up a little higher by pushing down with your legs and pulling in with your legs and really engaging your glutes high. And then from there, you have to roll to the inner arms and let your shoulders curve a little bit off the ground. So you go widen the shoulder blades and sink your spine down between them so you can imprint your back down a little bit at a time. At the end, the tail releases and the waist floats free of the ground. And again, so you start by pelvic tuck, rock the pelvis a little bit towards your waist. The tail rises and goes forward out between your knees. Think of your knees being pulled forward by magnets into the wall in front of you. And as you lift your spine inch by inch, pull the blades together, roll to the outer arms, the outside top of the shoulders pushes into the ground, and the heart rises. You lift as high as you can off the floor, feel that support and work in the back line of your body. And then we roll to the inner arm, blades slide sideways, and we curve our back into the ground from the top to the bottom. There's that spinal articulation sequencing the vertebra down from the top of the spine all the way to the tailbone. And let's lift one more time. Push the ground down, lift your hips, come up. And then let's pull the right knee into your chest, extend the leg up to the ceiling. Keep the hips elevated. You point the foot to lower down. You flex the foot to lift it up. 3 times. Point down and flex up. The goal, of course, here is not to let that right hip sink. And then point the foot, bend the knee, lower the foot down, lift that hip if it dropped at all. And then we're going to pick up the left knee. As you lift the foot to the ceiling, try to lift your left hip. Point the foot to lower, flex the foot to bring it up. Point, reach, flex, lift higher, draw an arc through the air by reaching out and then lift it up, bend the knee in, lower the foot, lift the pelvis here, and then down you go, roll down through your upper back, your mid back, your low back, your tailbone sinks into the ground. We are going to move on from here just to get more things in today. So from here, let's come up to sitting. So rolling forward and up. Spine twist. The legs are forward, the feet are flexed. You extend the arms out to the side. And we spiral the body to twist. So inhale up through your halo, exhale, rotate to your right and pulse 1, 2, 3. Lift to center and then spin to the left and pulse 1, 2, 3. And back to center. And twist. Remember, anytime you're sitting upright like this, if your hamstrings are tight, you may want to be sitting on a block, a book, a folded blanket, a pillow, whatever you have handy, or you would just bend your knees enough so that your spine stays really vertical here. Squeeze the air out of the middle of your body. You're wringing your body out like a sponge, like a washcloth, and then it fills again as you center. One last set. Ideally, the feet don't move, so they're not sliding one forward and one back. They stay in the same plane like they're against a wall. Lower the arms down and lay on your back. This is your jackknife. So this is an inversion. If this is new to you, you may want to elevate your hips up on the roller or a yoga block, but we're going to just lay down. And if you elevate your hips, that would be fine. You would hold onto the roller underneath you. Otherwise, we bend the knees in towards our chest. We lift the legs up towards the ceiling. Legs are together. Bring them slightly forward. Now remember, never look to the side when your hips are elevated. So we're going to push to the ground. We're going to bring the legs over sort of low. And then if you can, you lift them higher up to the ceiling. And you look back and up slightly at where your feet are now. Keep your gaze there. Don't follow your feet, but look at that spot that was above them. As you bring your spine down to the ground, that'll keep your neck long so breath is easier. And you push the legs forward to your working level where you feel your abs but not your back. And then instead of throwing the legs over, though you might have to, quite honestly, when you first start, you're trying to bring the legs up slowly, push off the ground, and then lift your tail to the air. You're thinking here that your whole body is like a flame, and maybe there's smoke coming out of your toes to the sky, and keep reaching up into that smoke as you come down with your spine, and then stretch the legs forward. I also like the image like my whole body is like a geyser or a stream of water coming up out of the ground or out of a hose. So I push the floor away and then I lift, and that water streaming up through my feet like a fountain keeps the energy lifted here to the ceiling even as I come down. So you lower the spine one vertebra at a time, and then we can fold the knees in. And let's flip. We'll come up to sitting. We're going to skip the side kicks today and move into our teaser practice. So with this exercise, we start sitting up, legs together, hands to the back of our thighs is easiest, and then curl the tail up, rock back to balance on your sacrum. Remember with this one, we say that for women, usually the toes are at eye level, and for guys, usually the legs are a little bit further out and away so that you have your balance point. And then it's very important, you have to start with the pelvic tuck. So you curve the tail up and you round back onto your sacrum and a little above it. And then you can start pushing the legs out at eye level, and then pull yourself in, pull the legs in, and your torso in as well. And only go down as far as you feel like you can come up. And most importantly, be sure your back is rounded so you don't feel your back, you feel your abs all the time. And if you have questions about that, stay after class if you can and ask me. Max will edit it out so you don't have to worry about being caught on the recording. And again, taking it down, reach out long here. And if it works for you, you go down so your heels touch when the tip of the blades touch, and then you come out of your upper up curl. And then to lift, come through your upper up curl, arms stretch at your side, Slide the legs up as you lift, and if you need to, bend the knees in, but eventually arms and legs are out and up, sort of parallel to each other. And let's go down again from wherever you are, round your back, make sure you don't twist your spine, keep your body aligned as you go down, and we'll do one more to come all the way up. So this is hard. This is a lot of people's goal is to do this exercise really well. Fold your knees in, but it takes time for most of us to get comfortable with that exercise and to have it look the way we would like it to in our mind. But once you have the image of it, you can work towards it and know that there's like all these different modifications and we all use them on the way in this process. All right, perfect. So from here, let's just sit, curl the tail up and sink the waist back. Extend the legs up again. So from a teaser position, we stretch the arms out and we circle the arms back. Now, more difficult for hip circles, so the elbows bent, like so, easier to go down onto your elbows on the ground. You can choose whichever one you want, and we circle the legs. Hip circles, inhale, legs go to the right. They go low, out to the side, and then lift them, and then we veer to the left. This can also be done with bent knees if your hamstrings are tight, or if it's just too much load for your body. Just like the corkscrew, you reverse the circles each time. And there's a lot of different variations. They're all hard. You know, whichever one you choose should be hard for you, but challenging, not impossible. All right, we're going to do one more. You circle from left to right to complete it, and then fold the knees in, stretch the legs out, and let's flip over onto our stomachs for swimming. Stretch the body out long, stretch the arms and the legs in opposition. Pull back from the armpits, lift the chest, and then you can start kicking the legs and also lifting the arms. So the arms and legs work in opposition here. Contralateral arm and leg lift and lower. And then we stretch everything out, lower it down, tuck the head under, and then sit back in your child's pose once more. All right. And then for seal, we start again seated. The hands, both hands go between the legs, wrap around the outside of the ankles. As you curl your tail up, you pull your waist back and rock again to that balance point on your sacrum here. Be sure you have room to roll, but I may not have. And we open and close from the thighs to pull the legs apart and together, clap 3 times. And then we roll back and stand on the shoulders, not on the head, clap 3 times there. So we lift through the tail, go back and clap 1, 2, 3, come forward and clap 1, 2, 3, and back again. Now, if you can only clap once or only clap twice, or not even clap at all when you're on your shoulder blades, it's understandable. It's all part of the process. You know, and sometimes when you begin, you might even want to go back and then take your hands under your hips. Just feel what it feels like to lift up through the tail and not drop your weight into your hands. Because then you want to see, can you suspend there? Because that feeling is essential to the feel of the exercise. And let's do that just one more time. And roll forward, and then lower the feet down. All right, and for the last thing, let's go into a little side plank here. It can be on your elbows or on your hand. So for the wrist, it's easier if you're on your elbows. We typically do the side planks in Pilates with the ankles crossed and your top foot, the heel goes into the base of the toes. And then you would press down, knees are slightly bent, push down, and you can push through your fist in front of you to lift up, maybe straighten the legs, and you want your shoulder right over your elbow or over your wrist. And then the arm goes up like so. Now think the bottom leg has to support the top leg, and as you push the ground away, that also supports the muscles under your armpit, your serratus, which attaches into your oblique abdominals. Looking up at your hand should help you. And then go down, bending the knees. Let's flip to the other side. I'm going to do 2 sets. That way I can do, and you can do if you want one on your elbow, one on your hand, or just repeat whatever works for you. So we're going to push down and then lift. Go long out with your head from your hips to your feet. And the arms make a perfect T shape. Your body intersects the arms. The more you push down, the more you feel the lift. And the more you distribute the weight through your body, And it's not all about your arm or your hand. It's really also about the edges of your feet pushing into the ground and your bottom leg trying to pull up to elevate the top leg. And we're going down again, bend the knee, land softly if possible. And when we're on the other side, let's try it. Well, I'm going to try it on the hand. You can do what you know is right for you. And we get ready and get set and we lift. You want to really feel that your body makes that cross, that T shape here. If your body's the dagger, the arms are the handle. And you have to be stacked. Your balance has to be good in this. And then bend your knees lower. It's nice to practice these, on your own and maybe start counting your breaths as you do it. So the first week, maybe if you get up for one breath, that's great. And maybe the second week you can try for 2. Incrementally, just increase the amount of time you spend. Spread your hand wide on the ground. Do not hyperextend your elbow if you're a straight arm, and then you reach up and you hold that position, go long. These side planks are super strengthening for the side of our body. They're great for our obliques. They're also great for building strength through the shoulder girdle. Reach long, reach out. And then as you're ready, soften and go down. All right, darlings, that is it for today. This is our penultimate class for the semester. So there's another class next week, same time, same place. And, when we won't return until September 15th. But now that there are these YouTube videos, you can check with them and still do your practice every week or whenever you want. And if you have any questions, hang back and talk to me after this, and Max will edit that out. All right, so good. Have a great day. Everyone stay safe in this storm.